Hi, my name is Michael Bessler, but you should already know that. See, now I am in your class. Now, this is my version of the meme mashup, and instead of doing a paper, which I consider to be kind of a detriment to comics, like comics I feel are more important, more engaging than say like a novel or anything, because the picture, the way the artists and how many people go into making a comic is really a team effort, and it's incredible. To show my support also for the project, I am wearing one of my favorite of comic book characters. Now, I think you, Professor, would know these guys pretty well. Nelson Murdoch, Avocados at Law, little Daredevil reference. So I will be going into everything that we want to, or I'm supposed to cover, and this is my meme right here. Now, my meme is the classic Drake meme, which is comics done without using wireframing, and then comics done with wireframing. The reason I picked this one, and the reason I did a meme like this, was because comics that are not properly laid out can be confusing and
chaotic.
Now, I will show you two examples of this. One, I'll use from one of my favorite comics of all time, The Umbrella Academy. Here is, I just flipped to a random page, and here you can see that each panel is properly set up to follow another. You can see that this one starts it off, and the reason it's so big is to highlight that evilistic logo. And then you follow up with here, you continue downwards, and you go, and then you get another double panel that emphasizes the lips of the rumor. Now, the Perseus Corporation, you get the Perseus logo. Now for the rumor, whose powers are I heard a rumor, and then whatever the rumor says comes true. So they highlight her mouth. Now, that was all properly laid out, and it makes the scenes and transitions from each panel more fluent and beautiful. Now, when you have examples from such as Arkham Asylum, one page that I want to highlight was this. There. And is this panel where it is overly chaotic and really, really a lot going on. It is crazy. Like, I don't even know if you can count these as panels or just all over the place. No, we've talked about, or I've talked about with a few others, that the Arkham Asylum is somewhat of a trickier novel to read because of those panels and how they work. But you can still see, let me pull up another example, such as when the psychiatrist, Miss Ruth, or Dr. Ruth, sorry, is doing a interview with Batman. What it is she asks him the question, and it takes place in the real world. And then it goes into flashback, and then it goes into his answer. Then, real world, flashback, his answer. Very, very well constructed and very beautifully put together. See, without this, then you lose the audience. Wireframing, properly setting up, like, your photos and your systems and everything you want to do is the most important thing to making a good, consistent comic. It's just like a movie. You want all your frames to be properly lined up, and even for this video, I think it also plays in, because you want me to properly, in sequence, talk about what you want me to talk about. Now, to continue on, defining comics using your own perspectives. So, just like from McLeod and some of the things that you have sent us, Professor, I have my perspective of what comics is a story properly laid out in front of you in sequential order with panels and a proper story. Now, that's where I also think comic strips and stories like Arkham Asylum or The Umbrella Academy or The Boys or Daredevil by Frank Miller all work perfectly and are perfect examples of comics. Now, comics don't necessarily always have to be about superheroes, but I truly find those to be the most engaging because I love superheroes. It's one of my favorite passions. McLeod helped me realize the proper vocabulary that goes into each one of these stories, like a trade paperback, learning key words like closure and wireframing, and just like through those examples, I know what makes a comic, and that I know I was a bit relatively vague about it, but basically when it is a properly laid out system that has clear ideas behind it and it are properly set up like in each panel, this is clearly a comic book. And a short little Garfield comic is clearly a comic strip. There are different ways to go about it, such as in a graphic novel, which, like Watchmen, is a fantastic graphic novel because it is a long story. Now, with a comic book, you have a different one where it's a collection of issues, or it can just be a single issue. But at the end of the day, I consider even graphic novels to be comics. Graphic novel just means it goes above a comic. It's the same thing when you say, oh, it was a great movie, to a cinematic masterpiece. They actually mean the same thing, but one is highly recommended when the other one is just a great movie. It's just doesn't use the same proper ones. No, sorry. I'm going to compare and contrast my definition of comics and my definition of memes, using our readings. A few examples from the readings that I pulled were memes are abstract, intangible, and unmeasurable. I also found the readings to be very interesting, mainly because they are heavily depicted as being very like the scientific breakdown of a meme, I think, is very compelling. To listen to an adult talk about something that was created, not too long ago. But memes you can draw back to all the way back to royalty in France, which they had propaganda that was like, it would say like, our king is a donkey, something like that, or F's a donkey. Like, there was a porno was used as propaganda pieces, and you can call back to those. But modern day memes are, I think, a satirical satire, and comics are very similar to that in their own unique way. When memes are more blunt and direct, comics can be more subtle and have more nuances, such as in Moon Knight in his mini-series. It depicts mental illness and the problems with mental illness. Now, there are memes, of course, about mental illness, like maybe like everything's fine as the dog. Oh, I'll put it right here, but it's the dog that is like sitting at the kitchen table, and he's smiling. And he's like, everything's fine, and there's a fire all around him. Obviously, the joke is not everything's fine, but it's showing that like even in when everything's horrible, if someone asks you how your day's going and you barely know them, you're just gonna be like, that's good. So, it also said memes are seldom copied exactly. Their boundaries are always fuzzy, and they mutate with wild flexibility that would be fatal in biology. Basically, just saying that they're all over the place. You can interpret a meme into several different categories, just several different ways. Just like I just said, the photo with the dog, maybe you see that as like a hot dog joke. It's literally just a hot dog joke. That's what it is. Which, could be. Some false memes spread with just assistants are apparently unkillable. Notation that Barack Obama was not born in Hawaii. The reason I pulled this quote and the reason I'm bringing it up is because it kind of goes with the political thing that I was saying about the French. Its memes are powerful because they spread like wildfire. If a joke is really funny, then everyone will know the joke. Same, just like a classic one, like why the chicken cross the street to get to the other side. That's a universally known joke. Does it make anyone laugh? No, but everyone knows it. Same with the Barack Obama one. When I was a kid, I remember that vividly, because everyone thought he was born in Kenya, and I was like, why the hell, what? Like, he was born in America, that's what I knew, that's what everyone else knew, so why is it so different? And it's to show why I bring that up is just, it shows the power and the range that memes can have, which, similarly, a comic book can have, or a graphic novel. Like Watchmen. Watchmen has now spun a Zack Snyder movie and a TV show on HBO that has more than several Academy Awards, or like Emmys, sorry. Which is just impressive for something that people didn't even realize. Like Sin City is also a great comic book that got turned into a movie, and it depicts just over-the-top violence, very stylized humor, and just effects and looks. It draws you in, and it's a meme, and it's a satirical satire on film noir and broody detective stories. That's what I think. No, I'm going to include, so for the final one, it says, please include quotations, screenshots, and notes from our class discussion. I will ask you to include all three. So, I pulled some quotes. Furthermore, comics denaturalize the page by calling attention to the layout and design. In traditional literature forms, like novels and short stories, the page acts as simply a delivery device, with text placement resulting from expectations and traditions. Just another quote. In comics, however, readers must actively contend with the layout and design of the page as a material experience. This experience also includes examining the narrative boxes, as well as the dialogue and thought bubbles appearing with panels and pages of comics, resulting in a hierarchy of meaning from page down to box or bubble. And then here are a few. Here's one of the screenshots that I got, which was industrial terms. I thought this one was very important because it highlighted it. I'm sorry, I'm going a bit over time, so I just want to kind of speed up at the end. But this includes about writers and artists, the writer that creates the story, and the penciler and the inker and the colorist in literature. I just think it's very important for us to recognize how many people really go into making a comic and how important and fun it really is. Same could be said about a meme, but mainly that's just one person. But that one person could be inspired by multiple things that have happened to them, not only in their life or around them, or they've been a part of themselves. Another one was, I'll do it on this side to switch it up, is industrial keywords. Just like above, industrial terms in terms of people, and then industrial keywords, which I think may be the most important one, because comic strip, comic book, trade paperback, graphic novel, illustrated novel, and children's story are all very different stories. Now, like I said before at the very beginning, I said comic strip and a comic book and a graphic novel are I consider to all be a part of comics, because I don't think comics is such a fun and expansive world to have. Now, children's stories, they have pictures. Why are they a comic? No. Illustrated novel? No. Trade paperback? Yeah. But illustrated novel and children's stories don't use panels. They don't use gutters. They just use pages to separate the story, or just words to separate each of the pages and paper. That's not what comics and memes represent. They represent a person's ideological aspect and thoughts of the world itself, and how it all correlates into one compelling story or one funny meme. That's what I think all of this boils down to, is that. Thank you so much. This has been my meme mashup. I'm Michael Bessler, and I thank you so much for allowing me to speak with you. Have a great day.